up our little disclaimer. Let me just drop that on just for a minute while I kick that over. There we go. Making sure we're all legal and that good stuff. All right. Live. Oh, look at that. It looks like we are going to work on one page.
What?
Go figure. Up.
Madness.
Yep. It says live. I know. Go figure. All right. Wow, look at that. There's one working. All right, now we're going to hit the other one here. Go live. Da-da-da.
You puff up my
wow. Both of them are going to work. Man, I got to start betting on horses or something here.
Play a lotto.
All right, they are both working. Wow, absolutely.
There's a city out west that's got your name on it, honey. It's got a whole bunch of lights
yeah. Someone's got a bridge they want to sell me now or something.
There you go.
All right, here we go. All live Thursday night and ready to rock and roll. So, how is everybody doing?
Good.
Good.
Very good. Very good.
Halloween.
Yes. Right?
Yeah.
You can tell it's 2 weeks from Halloween because you walk into Walmart or any store and Christmas decorations are out. That's how I know when it's Halloween anymore. The Christmas decorations. That's the way it works. And Hooper, good to see you. I don't see you with a pair of hip waders on or any floaties, so I'm assuming you're doing okay.
I'm doing okay. I'm dry and I have power and minimum damage to the yard, the house.
Good.
Wonderful.
Extremely fortunate. Lots of others went through a whole lot worse, but we're all here.
That's awesome.
Good.
Very good. Very good. Well, we have a really interesting guest tonight. One I sat and talked to just the other night we were on for almost an hour, just enthralled sitting and just listening to some of her stories tonight. And that is Christine Freeman. Christine Freeman from Jaws2. She was the skier in Jaws2, but as I come to find, there's a lot more to her than just being a skier in Jaws2. So we want to give her a nice warm welcome and bring her on here into the stage. Hello, Ms. Freeman.
Woohoo! There you go.
We are very thrilled to have you on this evening. Very thrilled.
I'm happy to be here.
That's great. We so I talked to you down in Tampa, and a couple messages here and there, and here you are. And not only am I thrilled, I'm blown away by how humble you are every time I talk to you about doing this, and the people want to hear this stuff. And I was trying to tell her how fascinating it is to hear some of these things that we don't hear from behind the movies and the production, and some of her past and her kind of travels as she's gone through her lifetime, and how fun it is to sit back and kick back and hear. So that's kind of what we're here for tonight. So awesome. So what we'll do is just kind of
Are there
some questions here.
listening to this? Are there other people listening to this?
Yes.
Yes.
You're live around the world.
Yes, you are. Yes, you're currently broadcasting live across YouTube. Yes. So
Right now, people are watching you in Canada and Australia.
yes.
Gosh.
International.
And
International waters. That's right.
All right.
And there will be, so that we might get some comments here and there. And if we do, you'll see, some of them I'll pop up. We have some people coming off of the Facebook Jaws pages, and then we have some people that are strictly on YouTube. So some of the YouTube people I will definitely pop up. Here's one of our regulars. This is Robert saying hello.
Hey, Robert.
So hi, Robert.
Hey, Robert.
Thanks for joining us. And we definitely have some people joining us over on Facebook. We've got Sonia joining us, from Australia. We got Victor saying hello, good evening, Chris. Jaws2 rocks, big fan. Joining us from Canada, we have Donna Honig, the island queen, we call her herself, who lives in Martha's Vineyard.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
She's the fairy Jaws mother.
Yes, she is. So she's joining us as well. So a lot of highs. We also have Michael Massey joining us. A lot of
Hey,
good people
Mike.
jumping on tonight.
Oh,
Very
Yeah,
cool.
wow.
Awesome.
That big crowd.
Very nice. Very nice. All right. So why don't we get started? I'm sorry, with one more comment. Someone's throwing up a little information for you here, Chris. Sorry. It says, "Hi, Chris. So wonderful to be chatting with a member of the Jaws2 cast. A criminally underrated gem."
Okay.
Yes, without a doubt.
We all agree.
Yes. All right. So I'll tell you what. How about we start off? Can we start off with maybe just a little bit of your background regarding what got you? I don't know. Say from childhood up to adulthood with the skiing. How did you get started with that?
Okay. So I was born in Springfield, Missouri, and my parents lived in a very small town called Fair, Missouri. And my grandfather and my dad used to fish a lot on a lake near my hometown called North Fork Lake, Arkansas. And they were over there at every possible opportunity that they had. My dad was an attorney, and my mother was a fabulous artist. And they started water skiing when I was a baby, probably. My mom tells the story that he came home one day with these two wooden things, and she said, "What is that?" And he goes, "These are water skis. We're going to learn how to ski." So they started skiing behind an old fishing boat. And I think I showed you a picture of that boat the other day.
Yes.
Um, and when I was about 4, they taught me how to ski. And there was a place we used to go that had cabins, and a lot of people came from Memphis and Kansas City and St. Louis to stay at this place. And by this time I was probably about 11, and I was skiing all over the place on one ski, and that was fun. Well, these people were water ski judges, and they said, he looks like she could ski pretty well. So my parents hooked up with them, and the next thing I know, we're starting to train for a water ski tournament in Wichita, Kansas. And
water skiing capital of the world.
maybe. And I won a second place trophy. And my dad, being a big sports fanatic, just latched onto that. And we started networking with people at that tournament. And then met people through other water ski people who lived in Kansas City area who skied on Lake Ozark. And I mean, it was just a bunch of networking on the part of my parents to find resources to help us figure out how we could get started with this. Anyway, so we started training. We put out a slalom course on Norfolk. My dad still could jump. It's a wonder nobody got hurt badly doing that. And so they bought a bigger boat for me to ski behind. And we started, the training every summer. And this was done as a network with people from Kansas City. Olathe, Kansas had a water ski club. It's all kind of a big family that helps each other out. So I progressed in my skiing and started going to a lot of local regional tournaments in Wichita, Kansas, and Tulsa, and Columbus, Ohio. And at that point in time, the country was divided into different regions. So the southern region, the Midwest region, the western region, and you skied in your regional tournament, and then you qualify for the national tournament. So I did that when I was probably in my early teens, and I skied pretty well. And that just kind of snowballed from there. I mean, my parents made huge sacrifices for this to happen.
Hmm.
My dad we rented a cabin on the lake in Arkansas. My dad bought a Crosby twin rig boat, tournament certified, and we dragged that thing over the country as part of, being a part of the skiing family. And, I ended up getting to go to Florida and California and different places to train with other people that were ranked at a national level. And, before I knew it, I got invited to the Masters Water Ski Tournament, which is still held every spring at Callaway Gardens in Pine Mountain, Georgia. And I went several times before I actually made the world team. That's when they select the world team there. So that led to a whole different level of skiing, and went to the world tournament, did really well, and I think I'm leaving a whole lot of detail out there, but it was a natural progression of just learning how to ski, getting my skills home, being with the right people, training with the right people, and parents that were hugely supportive. I mean,
Wow.
Sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
Which is really cool, and in addition to your drive and you wanting to do that, I think that's amazing. You had a family behind you doing something like that, because I don't think I shouldn't say you don't see that. I don't think you see that as often. You really
Right.
don't. So I think that says a lot.
yeah, back then, water skiing was truly a family sport.
Wow.
From the casual skiers that took their kids to the lake and camp and water ski, to the people that were very involved in tournaments. And I mean, it was the tournaments were all. I mean, they had as many, camping families as people staying in a hotel, and it was truly a family endeavor for me.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. I honestly never was aware of that it was such a family sport. It just didn't dawn on me. But again, I don't have that background, so very interesting. So 4 years old when they put you on skis.
Yeah, pretty sure.
That's pretty amazing. I think I was just learning how to walk at 4 years old, so that's pretty impressive.
Well, my dad was a football basketball coach before he became a lawyer. So he was very focused on sports, and I think he saw I was really interested. And I was a kid that wanted to please my parents, so I'd probably do anything they told me to do. And it's like, yeah, sure, okay. The place I skied on was just gorgeous. I love that lake.
Did it come natural? I mean,
What's
were you
that?
able just to did it come natural? You just jumped up and you were ready to go? Because I've been towed behind boats many times, but I've never skied.
I think learning to actually ski was pretty natural. But as I got into it, I really struggled with some of the tricks in particular.
Yeah.
And I was scared to death of the jumping. But you kind of had to do it, and I knew that. And so it just took a lot of stubbornness and determination to keep at it.
Yeah.
And not give up.
Very
But,
cool.
I mean, all sports have, particularly outdoor sports, have a lot of exposure to the elements. But my gosh, we got the sun, we got the rain, we got the lightning, we got
Correct.
the water that you hit, and when you're going pretty fast, it feels pretty hard.
Correct.
Concrete.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a sport. We used to call it, we've been laked, where you just come home and you're just like sucked dry of all your.
Wiped out, literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get ahead a
Yeah.
little bit here, but you said you used to do jumps like on the ramps.
Yeah.
Did they ask you to do Jaws 3?
No, they didn't.
Okay, I just wondered if you think
No.
Joe Alves would have said, "Wait a second, I know a water skier."
Back when I was skiing in tournaments, if you really wanted to get anywhere, you needed to be a 3-event skier. You had to do slalom, tricks, and jumping. And that's kind of how they based the overall scores, and that's how they got all the different international.
Okay.
Now it's pretty different. people really specialize. They either do jumping only, slalom only, tricks only. I think there are just a couple of, higher ranked skiers that do all three events because you have to have all that equipment, and it just takes up so much more time
Okay.
So,
to do that.
so I
We
had
have,
a thought. I had a
Go
thought.
ahead.
So
Mhm.
basically, you realize that Christina is actually the first original person to really jump the shark and not Arthur Fonzarelli. I'm just throwing that out there.
No, I was not. It wasn't it wasn't Arthur. It was my friend Rick McCormick.
Oh, really? That did that?
Ah,
Oh,
He was from the family in Kansas City that we hooked up with, so the McCormick family. And Rick did some stuff, and he did the stunt
for Henry Winkler.
for Henry Winkler.
That is awesome.
Yeah. And Rick and I are good friends. I stay in very close touch with him.
So did you ever get a chance to go to Cypress Gardens and ski?
Absolutely. Oh yeah, absolutely.
There you go, Mike.
The Missouri, the Water Ski Sports Hall of Fame was in Winter Haven
Yes.
when I was inducted to that.
Yep.
Then after I won the World Tournament, they invited me there for a photo shoot for, of all things, Popular Mechanics, to do a magazine article on safety and water skiing. So they did a lot. Yep, there you go.
Oh, how gorgeous. Look at that.
They did a whole, I was down there for probably 3 or 4 days. They did a lot of filming of my skiing, not just that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I've got some great film of my skiing, trick, slalom, and jump. I can't remember how they took it, but it was on a boat with a boom with camera, and it was pretty cool.
Yeah, we used to go. My parents used to take my sister and at least me to Cypress Gardens a lot.
Yeah. They don't. I don't think they have it anymore.
No, it's now Legoland.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sadly.
Yeah. But and then the picture on the right is the world team when I was when we went to Spain, and the guy on my right with the kind of sun-streaked hair is my friend Rick McCormick, who I told you did the stunt with for Henry Winkler.
That's cool.
And then the other people, of the 3 women, I hate to say this, but I'm the only one who's still on the planet.
Oh.
I know.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they both have left us.
Oh,
And,
wow.
Mike Sidehead in the middle, the tall guy, he lives in California, and Wayne Grimdick, I think he's in Florida. And then I don't know what happened when Tony was on. He was our coach. So, chaperone, basically.
Interesting what you mentioned regarding Fonzie jumping the shark, because one of our guys or regulars, James Scott, got on and asked what you thought of Fonzie jumping the shark. So you obviously answered that question. You actually knew the guy who actually performed the stunt. So that's pretty impressive. So yeah. Very cool.
That's that psychic ability James and I have, apparently. There you go.
Well, I happened to stumble across a couple things. I'll be honest with you, not that I was stalking you, but trying to maybe find some things we could pull up for visuals, Christine. Sorry, not trying to creep you out, but I definitely found some pictures, just mentions of you in articles for contests and stuff like that. So really cool stuff. So
wow.
Yeah, I mean, a lot that was going on there for you. That's incredible.
Yeah, there for a while, I was in a lot of the water ski magazines. The pictures that are outlined in red, those were all taken in at Callaway Gardens in Mountain, Georgia, when we were skiing in that Masters tournament that I told you about.
Okay. Impressive. Wow. And so how long of a stint of a career did you do in competitive water skiing then?
I think I started, I was 12, and I quit when I was probably about 22. Um, I really was kind of done, and
Yeah.
I was in. I had just graduated from William Jewell College in Kansas City with my bachelor's of science in nursing, and I wanted to get on with that,
Sure.
and it kind of reached the point where I could tell my parents were like kind of done, and I would have had, if I wanted to have pursued it, I would have had to figure out how to do that in a different way. And I was not motivated to do that. But my brother and I, for a couple of decades, kept going back to our Lake Norfolk, every summer and pulled the boat out and got out and skied. And so I kept skiing, but not competitive.
Yeah. Yeah. And I also, I stumbled across, Missouri, which is where you're originally from. So you are in the books as a state champion athlete there. Had a nice little write-up. Said you got inducted. It was like 1995, I believe you were inducted.
Missouri Hall of Fame, and
Wow.
it's in Springfield, Missouri. And I was enshrined in the Sports Hall of Fame there. And the class that year excluded Stan Musial. So I got to meet Stan Musial,
Oh, wow. That's
That's
incredible.
cool. That's nice.
the woman that year that got inducted. Yeah. So
That's nice.
yeah.
Very impressive.
Fun.
Well, and the fact, I mean, the fact that you had the record that you did and the, the term that you spent there, I mean, that's got to be hard when you are working on and competing at that level to try and maintain that. I mean, you look at any athlete at that status, and that's not something you just wake up and do naturally. I mean, there's the amount of time and work that goes into it. I can only imagine. I mean, it takes on it as being its own job, I would imagine.
It was. I mean, and probably because I started this pretty early, and every waking minute that it was warm enough that we were skiing, I just got used to that. That's just what we did. But in retrospect, I miss a lot of stuff that kids do in the summer in their hometowns, and and I don't know what I missed, so I'm not too upset about that. But I think this gave me a real good opportunity to travel and to do some things that I would have never gotten to do living in a really small rural town.
Sure.
There's anything like that at all. It was good to me, but it gave me an opportunity to really get out and see some other things, and my family too.
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Extremely impressive. Yes. In awe of that. Let me tell you, it's not something that comes to people, and obviously you had some natural athleticism, but a lot of hard work and determination. And I think that often gets overshadowed, unfortunately. You don't realize the sacrifices that are made.
I'm trying to learn to play golf now, and that is not shining through. Hardest thing I've ever tried to do.
I tried golf and I gave up on it. And my excuse is I'm lefty and I don't own clubs, so no one has clubs that they can let me borrow. So I don't golf. I know they do. But I need an excuse to get out of it, so that's the way it works.
The only golf I play is the one with the windmill. You try to put it through the windmill. Yeah, that's the only one I know how. Yeah, that's it.
Put it in the clown's mouth.
That's right.
That's exactly right. Well, we have a slew of people that are starting to ask questions about Jaws2. So why don't we hop into Jaws2, and why don't we start off with your clip from Jaws2. How does that sound? We'll pull that up for a second. All right, let me pull that up, and then we'll roll some of that out. Here we go. All right, right before the bite. So one of the best action scenes in the film. I'm not saying that because you're sitting here. It really is the
Yeah.
point of view with the camera and the back and forth and stuff. Incredibly done. So maybe I'll hit a couple questions that are on here. So Victor's asking how many takes did it do to do that scene? Like, was that
Oh my
something you could
gosh.
do in like a day or two? Was this where you were talking a
No.
week?
I think we talked about this the other night, Nate.
Yeah.
They took, first of all, I went to Martha's Vineyard for 3 weeks. Never did anything because the weather was horrible. They were having trouble with the script, blah, 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 blah. So they sent me back to California, and I went back to Pensacola, and they would film one day, and then it'd be 2 or 3 days till they'd film again, and they just filmed different things that I think they needed to pick and choose from in the editing room to see what would work with what their storyline was. So there was, in the very beginning of the water ski scene, was actually so pretty. The water off the beach was just flat, and it was crystal clear morning, and the water was sparkling, and you know, you see the skier out there cutting around in the boat silhouette. And then if you watch that, and then some other scenes where it gets a little bit more intense, it was a gray day. The water was really choppy, you know, and they had that scene that you just showed. One was behind the boat, and then the other one, I was seeing a boom off of a big platform boat that had cameras on it.
Uh-huh.
So, you know, just to, I can't tell you how many quotes it takes, but I was there from the end of September till right. And I didn't
Wow.
film every day, and it was depending on what the weather was doing and what was going on, and if the shark was working, and how cold it was, and
Wow.
all of that.
Yeah, that sounds familiar, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And
It's
you were
working.
telling,
It's not working.
well, and she was telling me the other night that when I believe it was in Florida when you were doing the scenes then, and after they were telling you that there were sharks around there the whole time.
Yeah, the divers said, we didn't want to tell you this, but there are sharks out there, and you're sitting there treading water. And the other thing, if you'll notice in the scene, I don't have a life jacket on or a suit.
Yeah.
You don't know.
Yeah, and I was used to that. I mean, I never did. The only time I ever wore a real jacket was when I'd done. The rest of the time, I even had a little skinny belt on, and it wasn't totally against the law now.
Right.
Anyway, so I didn't mind, but the water was really cold, and occasionally, well, more than occasionally, we'd be way out there circling, waiting for them to tell Judy Coulter, the boat driver, okay, come in, bring her by this boat or whatever, and then boom, they drop me in the water, and I'd sit there, and I'm like, you know, this is pretty deep out here, and I bet there's spooky stuff in the water, you know?
Well, and I guess, you know, I would assume, and I don't know because I'm pretty ignorant to the fact, but going from, say, water skiing on a lake as opposed to water skiing out in open water ocean, I would think it's two different animals. Is that true?
Well, it's true, but when you ski like a lot of us did and do, you can tell the texture of the water. Really muddy water has a different texture. Some water is harder. Salt water is very soft. It's easy to turn your ski in, but it's also split.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I skied in some tournaments that were like out in Berkeley. It was kind of brackish water, so it was salt and fresh water together. And I actually liked that because it was really easy to turn your ski and maneuver. But the ocean, the big thing there is the chop in the wind.
Right.
But yeah, that's good.
Christine, do you make different skis for different types of water? Like I know athletes, they'll have like turf shoes or with spikes, without spikes.
Michael, I don't know now if they do. They very well might, but we did not then.
Okay.
And in fact, the skis were evolving. When I was first skiing, all the skis were wood skis.
Mhm.
Yeah. Mhm.
And I skied my slalom ski. I skied on the first fiberglass prototype of O'Brien skis, and kind of an experimental thing. I got tricked into doing that. I didn't want that ski. I wanted my other ski. Anyway, my friend Rick, who I mentioned to you, the guy that did the jump over the Fonzie,
The Fonzie jump.
The
Yeah.
Fonzie jump, sure.
and this other guy, we were practicing in California, and it came time for me to get out of the water and start skiing, and they didn't bring my ski, and I'm like, I'm not using that thing. And I couldn't even get up on it because it was so much lighter, and it would, when you come up out of the water, it was really skittish. But
Unstable, yeah, sure.
I was gonna say there was no stability for you.
but I ended up skiing very well on that ski.
Wow.
It took getting used to. But I have no idea how they handle things now. I'm just not as tied to the sport anymore.
I would imagine everything's probably switching over to carbon fiber if it hasn't already.
Yeah.
Probably so. I mean,
Yeah.
and the performances are just unbelievable what people are doing now. And it's a combination of skill, fitness, technique, equipment, boats, ropes, everything. It's
Wow.
Sure. When they were filming your scene, the different points of view, obviously there were different shots taken at different times. I've seen pictures of the cameraman who rode on the shark. Was that what was used when they were filming the scene, or the point of view of the shark point of view following you? What kind of a setup did they use? Do you know?
I think the death scene, there was somebody behind. So when you see that fin going into the water,
Yes.
it's actually a fin on a plank. Like that. And so
Okay.
the plank is being pulled by another boat out of the shot. And the faster it would go, the lower it would go in the water. So
okay.
So it was going slower, and then the faster it went, the fin would go lower. So there was a boat, again, out of the shot, filming that fin coming up. So, they had cameras mostly in boats following me, or maybe occasionally there was somebody in the boat when he was driving that was shooting.
Interesting.
And the cameraman on the shark was John Fleckenstein. And Nate, you would appreciate him because he was also the bass player for the Standells.
Oh, you're kidding, really?
There you
The song "Dirty Water." Yeah, that's his band. Yeah.
No kidding. Wow. We have a little standing tradition here, Christine. When people throw out really out there obscure facts and things of that nature, we literally post it up. So that's a Mike's fact right there. So
I think Mike's a collector of facts.
He's loaded with them.
all kinds of good stuff. Good stuff. So
information.
So sorry, I'm not trying to hog all the questioning for myself. I love this. I have a handful of questions. So something else that we talked about the other night was the fact that the original water skier scene wasn't supposed to simply be you. Can you kind of talk to us about that a little bit?
And when I was in Martha's Vineyard, there was another skier there. He was not a competitive skier. He may have been. And you know what? I can't even remember his name. But I think he had done some competitive skiing and maybe some show skiing. And it was supposed to be, and I have a storyboard that outlines that first initial proposed scene. And it's got two skiers, and the shark chases the two skiers and knocks the skis off of the female skier, which would have been me. And she was supposed to climb up on the back of the male skier. And then, there was a big crash and, there was a death scene there. But they didn't use that. They didn't use that because they moved everything. So I don't know what, I don't even know how I ended up with that storyboard, but I got it in the drawer here.
That's
That's
cool.
pretty incredible. Has the
Yeah.
storyboards sitting there somewhere in the drawer. I mean, that's pretty incredible.
That's cool.
So did they?
My mother had it. I found it in her house, and I don't know how she got it. So
Did they shoot any of the scene with the two of you guys or no? Never shot.
it rained the whole time I was up there. It was cold, stormy. It was in June, and I basically sat in the hotel, and they finally said, "We're done. We're." And I think there were other things that happened that I remember. Jeff Rude talked about. There was some disruption of, agreement between the writers and the producers and the director. I think the director changed, right, Michael?
Yes.
Yeah. So there was all this disruption, and then they regrouped, and that's when they said, "Okay, come down to Pensacola." So.
Awesome. We have a comment on here for you from James Scott, one of our viewers, and he says, Christine, I'm sure that the real sharks that were there were easily scared off by Brucette, the mechanical shark. So.
He kind of stopped all the time.
Unbelievable. Yes. Awesome. So you guys want to chime in? Go ahead. Sorry, I feel like I'm hogging up the whole hour.
I'm kind of curious. How did she get the job? How did she wind up getting the job as the skier? Did they reach out to you, or what? How'd that happen?
Well, it was totally accidental. I was in California, in Los Angeles, and actually I was in graduate school at UCLA.
Oh.
And I got a call. Water skiing was then and still is a pretty small world, even internationally, once you get to a certain level. And the San Diego Water Ski Club had been contacted by Walt Disney. They wanted to make a film called Freaky Friday.
Yes.
It was the first one with Jodie Foster and
Barbara Harris.
And
Aston.
John Aniston. And they wanted somebody that was about the size of Jodie Foster. And so they called me up and they said, would you want to do this? They want to meet you. So I drove down there and I met them. And that took about 3 weeks. And we did film every day. And they filmed it on
Wait a minute. You water skied for Jodie Foster and Freaky Friday?
Yeah.
I'm in love with you, woman.
Oh.
So, not to interrupt,
So good.
I have a little clip of that if you guys want to see it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Roll it.
I did a little digging here. I have two or three little clips here.
Oh my God, Nate, go for it, buddy.
All right, let me pull some up here. Here we go.
That is one of my favorite Disney films.
Listen. That's me with a wig on.
Oh my
Hold on. Froze here. It froze here. Let me remove it and pull it back in here. See if I can get that to kick back off again.
Oh my gosh.
Having a technical problem. You know what? Wait, I have another one here that one is not Jodie Foster. It's the other one.
I'm so glad I asked now because that is one of my favorite Disney movies.
I'll tell you what. Let me try and pull up another clip from the same movie, and then I'll try and reload that. For whatever reason, that one seemed to freeze on me. Okay, sorry about that. Let me pull this one up here.
So that's me going over the jump.
That's awesome.
That's me. But that's Barbara Harris.
Look at Barbara here.
She looks like that's me.
That's you.
Not me.
No,
That is awesome.
and this kind of jumps back and forth. So yeah,
It goes back to the ski scene as I remember.
The guy running with the jello.
sure, yeah. So let me pull you guys back up while you guys are chatting. I'm going to try and reload that other clip of you and his Jodie Foster because that's a great clip. Okay.
So
Yeah.
then once you've done Freaky Friday, then what happened after that?
So that took about 3 weeks, and it was all kinds of crazy skiing stuff that I actually used to do, fooling around with my brother and other people. And the stunt coordinator on that film, who had done all the boat driving, was the stunt coordinator on Jaws2. So he called me about 6 or 7 months later and said, "They're going to make another Jaws film with a ski scene. Would you be interested?" And I said, "Yeah, sure." So that's how that happened. I mean, it's just accidental, right place, right time, wrong place, whatever.
Serendipitous, it sounds like to me, because I'm over here
was.
fangirling. You have no idea how much I'm fangirling right now.
Yeah,
I'm loving it. Oh my gosh.
Well, my first movie star crush was Jodie Foster in Freaky Friday. So now I wonder, Christine, if it was you. If it was you I fell in love with when I was 15.
I didn't do her acting. You know what? I didn't even meet her. She was not. We were like this. Our set was on the beach in San Diego Bay Harbor, whatever.
Oh my gosh.
And, I did meet John Ashton because he was standing there during the first, shooting. But mostly who I met were the, crew that did the stunt filming and stuff
Like
that.
the second unit, you mean? Second unit
Second
film?
unit, yeah.
Got you.
But
Let me. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead. We're good. Let me try and I'm going to try and pull this clip in here live and see if we can't get that to run real quick. Can we do that just for a second?
Sure.
Go for
All
it.
right,
I'm
here we
happy
go.
right now.
See what happens.
Listen, let me put it this way. Number one,
That is Jodie. That's it.
I'm not going to go out there and
I
make a
can't
fool
wait
out
to
of
brag
myself,
to
let
my
alone break
sister.
every bone in my body.
Annabelle, you can't do this to me. My job may depend on this deal.
I'm sorry, but I just can't do it.
Okay, I give up. Here, sit down. We'll talk about it. Here.
Is it not
hold
coming
this.
up, Nate?
Hit it, Charlie!
Yeah, you don't see it?
That's me.
No, because you know how my internet is, but that's okay.
Oh.
I'm good.
Oh, that's
You
Jodie.
dirty louse!
That's me.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, this way.
Which way do I turn here? Left?
Right.
Right? You sure?
No left.
Left?
Right.
Right? Left!
See if I can't kick ahead a little here, back and forth.
Right body,
Then that's-
wrong place.
Hey, Annabelle, where'd you come from?
Where'd mine go? Don't ask me. How'd you do that? Don't ask me.
Oh,
And then
my-
that's where it kicks in where we caught that other scene. So wow, so you stood in for both the mother and the daughter then in the film.
Well, they just put a different outfit on me.
Sure. So when they were doing that film, you are like flailing and carrying on. And I know that you said you were supposed to look like you didn't know what you were doing.
Right.
But dear God, that looked more dangerous than just trying to water ski.
It was kind of interesting to pretend you don't know what's going on and that you're out of balance and falling,
Sure.
The clowns,
Very cool.
the clowns at Cypress Gardens used to do that.
Yes. Mhm.
Oh wow.
Yes.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
So anyway,
Very
it
impressive.
was
Got
fun.
some
It was really, really fun.
Guess what Janie's watching over the weekend on Disney Plus?
And James just commented, and he said, well, at least you didn't get eaten in Freaky Friday. So
Very true.
That would have been too freaky.
Right.
So that's what got you more or less kind of got your foot in the door with Jaws2.
Yeah,
That's pretty interesting.
it was Ted Grossman. I mean, obviously he probably talked to somebody, and they invited me, and that was probably in like February, March, and I went to Martha's Vineyard in June, and then I ended up taking a leave from school to do that, so which was fine, you know.
Once in a lifetime experience, right?
It kind of was. It was fun. I needed a break. I needed something fun.
Sure. Absolutely. We have, and so Robert's chiming in here and saying, by the way, we have a sequel to the remake coming soon. So apparently there's a sequel to the remake of that movie coming out.
Yes.
So I was unaware of that. Okay. Interesting.
It's the one with Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan, and so they've agreed to go ahead and do a second version of it now that they're older. So they're filming right now.
Who's going to cover Lindsay Lohan's shift at Chili's if she's making a movie?
Sir, I do not know. I mean, I don't know. Ariana Grande, I don't know, Michael.
So Christine, if you get the call, are you going to do it?
I don't think they're going to do a water ski scene. I doubt that. You know.
I had to ask. Sorry.
Who knows? Who knows? The grandma skiing, you know. I mean,
Come on.
No.
Is that before or after Jamie Lee won the Oscar? No, she's.
No. So.
I cannot get these guys to behave if I wanted to. My goodness.
Just the way it goes,
behavior.
That's right. So you were talking about the death scene, and Christine actually sent me some pictures. I want to say that it looks like somebody did some editing with some of these, and these are really, really interesting pictures. So check it out.
Ooh.
So check it out.
Who sent that to me? I think it was a guy in New York who had written me and really wanted a bunch of autographs for a club that he's in, and I sent that to him. And then he did that. I'm like, oh my gosh, I mean, that's not how it was at all, you know.
That's pretty impressive looking. Yeah.
I know.
You got a comment there. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very, very impressive. And I mean, it's not even blurred around the edges where, the shark is brought in right next to you there. I mean, it's really well done.
I don't know who did that or how they did it, but he sent it to me. So
better technical skills than I. And here's a second one.
Oh.
There we go.
Yeah,
Another good one.
I'm smiling at this.
You're smiling and you're kind of looking back like you guys are, like working together there. Sure, it's your turn. No problem. No. Yeah. Very well done, though. Incredibly well done.
Wow.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Yeah.
Hey, look how high my ski is up out of the water.
Yes.
It means that boat is going really slow. That was not a very powerful boat at all.
So yeah. So you were telling me that at times when you were skiing behind the boat, when Gene was driving, that you were literally moving the boat because it just didn't make enough power.
I think they had like a 45 or 50 horse motor on that boat. It was not very powerful.
Oh
wow! And that was an old wooden boat too. I would assume that makes a difference as well.
Yeah. So it didn't have a lot of power. So
yeah.
Anyway, kind of.
Speaking of Gene, who you obviously worked with, when I was talking to you down in Tampa, you were telling me some incredible stories about just kind of like behind the scenes, like you and Gene. You were sharing little things like what she ate for lunch every day and stuff like that. Could you share one or two of those with us?
Our rooms were together. We stayed in that hotel that was used in the film where they did the hotel opening, where they had
the Holiday Inn.
Miss Amity cut the
ribbon,
the ribbon for the opening and all that. Well, our rooms were right next to each other, And whenever I was doing something, she was there, and vice versa. So we were together a lot. And she truly worked in the film industry for her career. So she kind of got me caught up with what all the ropes were and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, we had breakfast every morning together. We both ate the same thing. Scrambled eggs. We had burnt bacon. I don't think she'd mind if I said that. But we just hung out, and then on the days when we had to go do our thing, the one thing that she did that I wasn't involved in was when they blew up the boat and they set her on fire. But I was there, I watched that whole thing. So.
Wow, that looked like a pretty treacherous scene to shoot too.
No, they had that was a one-time deal, and they had to get it right. And the boat was out off the beach, and they had cameras all around that thing, and they did a lot of prep work. And she had on a fire-resistant clothing underneath her, costume or her outfit.
Yeah, she talked about that. Yeah.
Yeah, and but once they blew that boat up, that was it. Unless they wanted to go find another similar boat, but they had. I just remember there was a lot of prep around that, and she probably talked about it a lot.
Sure. Wow.
And all the safety involved in that, and fire extinguishers and all that.
Yeah. And Victor's chiming in over here, and he's saying, Christine, there are test shots of you treading water after falling, and the shark attacks you from behind. He's saying, I guess there's some pictures of that floating around out there.
Wow. Well,
yeah,
that was true. Yeah. That was one of those deals where one of the deaths they wanted to film was that I had fallen, and then I was treading water looking for the boat, and the shark was supposed to come up behind me and then do one of those, just take me down. And there were divers under the water with their hands around my ankles, ready to, pull me down. Yeah. But the shark never worked. It would come up and then stop. And this went on all day long. I mean, I was just like, shaking. And they said, we need to get her out of the water here. It's a little cold. That death scene didn't work. So.
Wow.
Wow.
So I'd love to see those clips. I really would.
Yeah, I wish I would have. If I would have known, I would have tried to track those down for us. I did not know that they existed, at least out freely to the public.
I'm not surprised because they had cameras everywhere.
Yeah,
every angle, and boats all around.
Interesting. Wow.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, incredible stuff. I can almost envision the scene where Marge gets eaten. It's kind of,
that's what I was thinking.
As you're telling me that's what it sounds like. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what they were trying to get to, but I don't know what their mechanical issues were, but that shark, I kind of could see the water wasn't real clear, but they had a whole, it looked like a roller coaster, track that the shark was supposed to come up on and then roll back. But it came up, but it stopped. and there the victim sat,
Oh gosh.
Oh, it was fun.
And James is asking a question here. He's saying, did you keep any souvenirs from the movie?
I have some T-shirts that were original T-shirts.
Wow.
From they're somewhere in a drawer in the other room, and some visors, and I have a poster of it with the one with the girl in front of the shark. My mother got a hold of that and framed it. It's out in the garage, I think. It's on the. I've got it hanging. But I didn't keep a lot of trinkets or anything like that.
Interesting. Interesting. Oh. And that wasn't the big thing back then. Like people weren't holding on to things back then. It's kind of a common theme we come across as we talk to people that were involved in these movies. Just it wasn't like now where they're shooting the film and they're making a documentary of shooting the film and everything is an instant collector's item and a classic. Just wasn't a thing.
When I was down there, you know, I was in grad school. I was all headed to be a nurse practitioner, and I love films. I love movies. I've become quite a movie lover, and was at the time. But it wasn't in my head to go around and collect stuff, you know, for later. I mean, I just had no idea that the longevity of this would be what it is.
So you're a nurse practitioner?
I was, yeah. I'm retired.
What area of healthcare? I'm just curious because I'm a medical assistant. I'm a GI nurse for 20 years.
I was a family nurse practitioner for years, so I got to do all kinds of stuff. Women.
That is so good.
And I went to the dark side, and I became a hospital administrator. So,
the dark side. Yes,
to the dark side.
I know the dark side very well. Yes.
Yeah. So I did that for like another 38 years.
Oh wow! Well, now I'm really even more happy to meet you finally.
Yeah. So I had a great career. It was really
awesome.
Good. Very good to me. Very good to me.
So I got two different questions on Facebook. One's from James. He wants to know why you didn't wear a bikini, like on the poster.
Oh, the yellow one, yes.
Yellow bikini.
Right.
Well, you know what? I don't think that was my choice. I remember going to, and I think it was in LA where they did this, where they selected at Universal the suit, and they wanted something that looked like something that would come out of Martha's Vineyard, local, down to earth, not flashy, that kind of thing. Now, why they switched it on the poster to a bikini was probably for a little bit of pizzazz.
Probably for more promotion, I would believe.
Yeah. Because Lou Feck passed away a long time ago. I never got to talk to him about the poster, but I talked to his son, and he told me some things about it. I'll have to ask him and see if that's how he drew, or they told him to put a bikini on.
I just remember when I went in and I was trying on bathing suits. I mean, that suit is like hunter green with a couple of stripes on the side, and it's, nothing flashy, and that's what they wanted.
And then Victor wants to know, what was your opinion of the film after you saw it?
Oh.
I liked it. I got to see it. They had a screening in Los Angeles, and I got to go with some friends of mine. And like I said, there's certain types of films I don't like, but they scare me. But I like almost all films. And I saw the first Jaws the night before I took my nursing boards in Jefferson City, and that film scared the heck out of me. I was always kind of scared of sharks in the water.
That is hilarious. I love it.
So anyway, but I thought it was great. That was great.
So the movie's heavily promoted. You couldn't go anywhere without seeing the trailer that featured you or the poster. What would you tell people? Hey, that's me, or?
You know what? I don't tell. As an example, I just moved here to Bella Vista, Arkansas, and I've got stuff in my office here that, bless my mother's heart, she was a historian. She kept stuff, so I do have stuff up. And
well, I don't mean now, but in '78 when the movie was coming out, and everywhere you look there was a magazine ad or something.
Yeah.
Did you go, hey, that's me?
A little bit, but more in my hometown. Everybody knew, and people were coming by with their things. They wanted autographs, and I'm like, I can't believe this. I mean, so anyway.
And Victor also wanted to know if you ever met Roy Scheider or Lorraine Gary.
I did. Yeah, of course. I had dinner with Lorraine Gary couple times, and Roy was around. I didn't hang out with him, but he was around. You know, I kind of observed from afar. So
Wow.
anyway,
Wow.
it was a very interesting time. I got a eyeful. A lot of things. Nothing bad. Just it was the film industry behind the scenes.
So it's a different experience for sure.
Oh yeah, I mean, you think about a young woman who's in nursing school, and you know, I was so serious about my academics that this was. It was fun, and it was kind of an extension of my water ski career, but it was not anything that I ever thought, oh, I'm quitting school and doing this. No,
Yeah.
I just didn't cross my mind to do it.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I'm so happy I got the opportunity. It's been fun.
Oh, I mean, you know, like I said, it's had to be like a once in a lifetime experience, and to have that, I mean, it carries over to this day. I mean, you know, here we are, how many years later, having this conversation about it, and a lot of this to us is very new and fresh, and just as exciting as what it was when we saw it the first time. So,
Absolutely.
When I got a call from Spencer about this shark pond, and he actually invited me several years ago, and then the pandemic hit. Then I was moving, I couldn't go, and I was just amazed at the people that follow this franchise and are so. And then, of course, I had met you via phone, Michael, when you wrote your book, which was great. I have it over here. And I have read it. And it was great to see Gigi and Gary.
Yeah.
I didn't know Jeffrey. I was not around him that much, but Gigi and Jeffrey. And I never had met Lance because he wasn't in that film. He was in another film.
sure.
Down the line.
And ironically, a person that we just had on the show the other week, I happened to send me a picture of he and you when he met you, and he was as enamored with you as we were, and that is Gabe from the Spicy Shark Hot Sauce Company. He was just on the show with us just 2 weeks ago, so we just had him on and sent me his picture.
I have his hot sauce in my pantry.
There you go.
I do too. I love it. Great stuff. Yes.
There
And
you go.
too, my God. And I will say this, that I'm getting people now that see shoes and t-shirts and stuff like that are friends of mine that are like, is this you? And I'm like, yes.
I think Gabe needs to make a hot sauce in her honor, don't you guys?
That's exactly right.
There you go.
Could call it like water skiing wasabi sauce or something along those lines, right?
I do like hot sauce and some things, and it's good.
It is really good. Yes. Yeah, very good. I when I can get my hands on his, I definitely grab it. We burn through it here in my household. Yeah, all fans of it, very much so. Yeah. Yeah, and you know, I have to kind of confess, or at least kind of share with you the importance of you and how cool it is. So here you're looking at a picture of my one wall in the garage, and hanging in the middle is the picture that I got from you. So, you know, definitely a big integral part. In fact, here's a close-up of it. So there you go. I was down in Tampa and met Christine, and every day I'd walk over and talk to her for a little bit, you know, we'd chat a little about a couple of things, and just a lot of fun. Yeah, awful lot of fun. And that's love that poster art picture. And I have the shoes as well. I have the white slip-ons with the Jaws2 art. So very cool stuff.
Cool.
Mhm.
Very cool. Very cool.
Very cool stuff.
At the time Jaws2 came out, I think I was carrying around the novelization school, and either Mike or Scott noticed that in the first Jaws, the shark was underwater. In Jaws2, the same pose, but the shark above. They said that for the next one, you won't see the shark, but just see a tail at the top of the image because the shark just completely jumped out of the water.
Rocket shark.
Rocket.
But then I also wonder if that image on the poster is reminiscent of the scene as originally going to be shot, where the shark comes up. So, because a lot of this stuff was based on the original script that Dorothy and Howard Sackler wrote. So Lou Feck might have read that the shark comes up behind her and grabs her. Maybe that's why
I was gonna say
that's that image.
Yeah, the story that she just told us, that kind of matches up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Makes a lot of sense. Yeah, now you say it really kind of pieces that together. Yeah. We have a comment on here. It says, "Is it just me, or does Chris look a bit like Bess Armstrong?" Similar? Yeah, I would say.
Yeah.
Not just you, Robert.
You're being kind to Bess Armstrong. Actually,
Well, from what I can see, because I'm on my cell phone to do this, but you really remind me of Lorraine Gary right now.
Oh,
really?
okay.
Yeah, I can see a lot of Lorraine in you. So yeah.
Interesting.
Okay.
Can you come on in 2 weeks as Lorraine Gary? Because I think we get
That would be awesome.
great. we get a great viewership.
I would need some practice, and I would have to watch some clips from her. And,
You just have to come and just sit there and smile. We'll do the rest.
Just put that big hat on. Nobody can really see your face.
I did as I got older. I wanted to be an actress. I really did. But I never had the guts to try and, break into it. And that was well beyond after I did all of this. So it was.
Wow.
That's all right. I wanted to be a nuclear physicist, but my pay grade and intelligence leveled me out at a third grade teacher. So it worked out. Trust me.
Marine biologist. I wanted to be a marine biologist, and I'm still in the sciences, but still, here I am.
I wanted to write a book about Jaws2. I mean,
oh my gosh, quit!
Oh, come on! Yep, there goes.
In our face.
There goes the curve, Mike. Thanks, buddy.
I followed my dream.
So what are they going to do for the 50th anniversary, Michael? Do you know?
I don't know. I called the vineyard today, and I got to send an email to Erica, the lady that's the chamber big cheese. But the lady I talked to was like, really like, what? What are you talking about? I said, yeah, I just got this. Oh, we posted that? Did we post that? I said, yeah.
That's not a good sign.
Yeah. So I'll send her an email tonight. Hopefully I'll hear something tomorrow. It's been in conversations for a couple of years, but I always thought it would be at the end of this year when they'd announce it, because so much goes on that island. They can't plan 2 years ahead.
Yeah.
And people have schedules and everything else. So hopefully this cryptic post they put up will be the start of something important.
Some details of some sort. Yeah.
That would be neat.
Awesome.
Yep.
Well, we're rounding out the hour here. If anyone has any kind of questions as we kind of start to maybe wrap things up here, you guys at home, or you guys here live on the show, and anything you'd like to ask at all? Anyone?
I'm good with what I asked. I'm so ecstatic. I can't see straight.
I am as well. I was so incredibly excited. Just when I got Christine on the other night, just to kind of go through and make sure everything was working okay. And my gosh, I think we sat and talked for about 45 minutes. And I said, "This is perfect. This is what I've been waiting to hear." Just a lot of fun.
Exactly.
We don't hear. And I try to explain to her how we've all been watching the same thing for the last 40 some years, and we've all heard the same story. So to get a fresh take on it and hear some things that we didn't.
Exactly.
I mean, to us,
it's funny because, like I said today, and she can vouch for this, but the drug reps come in and they bring the lunches and all. And then I had one today, and she says, "Oh, my dad's a huge Jaws fan." I said, "Well, we're doing the show tonight." So she took a picture of our a YouTube channel, and I think he was supposed to watch it tonight because of you.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's nice.
So, I'm trying. I think that speaks volumes of how much we appreciate what you did in that movie for us.
Well,
Absolutely.
I appreciate your admiration because it's a long time.
But I'm more happy about Freaky Friday. I'm sorry, guys.
That
Hey,
was
there are. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Victor's got one last question. Did you, during your scene, you're on one ski? Is that how you started, or did you start with two skis?
Oh no!
Off, or?
When I was little. Oh no! I learned on two skis. I still have them. My mother kept them. I have them in my garage. They're called little Buster skis. They're from Cypress Garden. And then I graduated to a slalom at one point in time, and I don't know how many skis we went through over time. When we sold my mother's house and had to kind of clean everything out, oh my gosh, I don't know, there were probably 100 skis in there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you ever think about skiing at the Cypress Gardens?
Well, no.
Okay.
We that show skiing was kind of like
that's completely different. Yeah.
We were competitive skiers, so
right.
We're not that. And it was back in the day, they used to have tournaments where they competed as show ski groups.
Hmm.
So, but no, I didn't. It was all focused on the
sporting part of it.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Awesome. Yeah. We have a looks like a last question here from Robert. I'll pull this one up on the screen for us. He says, "Do you think you might do an interview if Freaky Friday gets a proper 4K Blu-ray re-release?"
Ooh.
Of course. I would love to. I mean, it's just fun for me. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
All right, Disney, you heard her.
There you go.
That's right.
Get on it.
Get that ball rolling.
Call the people. Let's go.
All right, you guys. Well, thank you.
Right. Chris, thank you so much for joining us.
Yes.
Great seeing you in July. Great to finally meet you. We've talked so many times on the phone. It was great to finally meet you.
Right.
Yeah.
I had a great time. Fun. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Christine. Absolute pleasure to have you on tonight. We really appreciate it.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Take care. All right. Wow, that was pretty cool.
That was
fun.
Do you see this?
That was such a great lady. And I have to say, I am so enamored at how humble she is. She, to her, she's like, "You really want to hear this? You really, when we were talking, I kept going, yes. This is what is so neat and intriguing to me,
Yeah.
So so just
she was next to me at SharkCon. She was at the table next to me, and she was setting up, and I walked over and introduced myself because we'd never met. And she was telling the person helping her, she goes, I don't understand why people want to meet me. She goes, I was fine. And then this guy wrote a book. And I walked up, I said, hi, I'm the guy who wrote the book. Yeah. But good. I'm glad she's being recognized. I mean, it's it's an iconic role in an iconic film with.
I was going to say it's a pivotal scene.
Poster.
Yeah, it's a pivotal scene in the movie, and a lot of people remember that, along with Jeannie.
It was the hook.
Yeah. That was the trailer. The trailer was the water skier.
Yeah, it was. You're right. And that's what got you back in there, Yeah.
Yep.
And she, just doesn't think anything of it at all. It doesn't, she even said, she said, I don't tell people about this. I don't tell people about water skiing. Now, let alone being in Jaws2, you're talking about, one of the top skiers in the country and internationally.
Correct.
And
yeah.
Doesn't say anything about it then, and so I said to her, I said, hey, if you're doing any other of these shows or whatever, please let me know. I'd be glad to pull it up and promote it or whatever. And she said, No, she said, I don't look to do those. She said, if someone reaches out to me and asks me, I'll do it, but it's not something I go searching for. I'm just like, oh my gosh, So yeah,
Wow.
what an incredibly grounded person.
Very
Yeah,
helpful.
really, really admirable person. Yeah,
Yeah.
very much. Yeah.
Very humble.
And a couple of comments. I told her I'd send her the link to the show then afterwards. So we'll pull some of these up. Thanks for chatting. Yeah, it was very nice to have her on there. Robert, Janie's enthusiasm is cheering me up after a stressful day. There you go.
I'm glad because I've had a stressful day too, but just the fact that I asked her 2 questions and we got some really good behind the scenes answers with, Henry Winkler's stunt double, Jumpy the Shark, and then Freaky Friday. Okay, that is just too cool for me. I'm sorry. I'm taking that one, buddy. I just that's
That's
so
yours.
cool.
That's your victory.
That's my
Mhm.
victory lap for today. There you
Come for
go.
the Jaws, pay for the Freaky Friday.
I'm telling you, man. I'm just
Sure.
it's so good. It's good to see you though, Hooper.
Good to be seen.
I know.
Right.
I miss you guys.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we
Exactly.
won't have another hurricane
I know. It's
Forever.
Well, it sounds like you're getting a week off anyway. At least 1 week off,
Oh.
right? I mean, what do you have? 2 and 6 days? That's kind of crazy.
yeah, you need to tell Mother Nature to knock it off, man.
Right.
John, I was talking to Nolan, and that's one of our boyhood friends, and I do not remember weather being like this when we were in school. 'Cause I live 5 blocks off of Bayshore Boulevard, and every now and then the water might splash over the seawall.
Right.
I've never seen anything like what's happened the last couple of years. It's just horrifying.
But the first time I remember a big hurricane where we all hunkered down was in my older years, 85 or 6. Elena, and it just kind of sat in the ocean right off of the bay and just didn't move for days and
Just
days.
kind of
and
hung
days.
out there and
Yeah. But that was in '86, and it was very far and few between. Now, we had 2 in a month.
No, 2 in a week. God.
Yeah.
Yeah, not at all like when we were young.
Yeah.
And the irony is that they're coming in and they're getting more severe, but
Yes.
yet they give him these soft, calm names: Hurricane Melina and Harvey. It should be like Hurricane Son of a Bee and Hurricane GD. Here it comes again. You know what I mean? They're going the wrong direction there.
It should have been. This one should have been called Milton the Mother Blanker, and
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
should have been it. Because that sucker. I mean, I think I told Mike and I told Juanita. I agree with him. I don't remember the hurricanes being this bad or spinning the tornadoes like it did, because it went through my home county and near Clewiston where I grew up, and the base on that sucker was like out of Twister.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, I've never seen that.
And your
That
folks
scares me.
are okay, and Jim and Joel are okay. And
Folks evacuated to Orlando. My brother Jim wrote it out, and Joel is over in the Villages.
oh, okay.
In Leesburg.
And then Liz and her husband took the kids to Hilton Head, where her family has a house, and they stayed there for they wrote it out most of the days. When they came back, she brought the kids over, and neither of us had power. So Liz and I were kind of playing like co-parenting chicken. She says to me, she goes, "The first one who gets power back takes the kids." And I'm like, "All right, you got a deal." Yeah, it was. I kept thinking about there was a cartoon show called Milton the Monster. That's what I was thinking about. This hurricane is Milton the Monster.
The monster.
Yeah.
Milton the Monster, because
Yeah.
Florida. Oh,
Yeah.
Unbelievable. And I guess there was talks of a third one. Are you hearing anything about that?
Oh.
Materialize?
It wasn't going to come near us at all. There was the L hurricane was somehow coming after Milton, but it went away from us. And then there was the Nadine, and
Nadine. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was a nothing burger too. So
Maybe it's finally over then. So
I hope so. Let's just
Elf
hang
Yeah.
on till November when the hurricane season is over.
yeah.
Yeah.
Elf for linoleum. I don't know why that song just popped into my head.
Because you're Mike. That's
La 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 linoleum. No Bert, listen
Because you're
to
Mike.
me. Oh man.
Well, hey, while we still have people on, just real quick here, two things to kind of float out there. One, if you haven't seen the advertisement, we have a holiday movie coming up. So we're going to be watching Ghost Shark, and that's going to be on Saturday, October the 26th. And it's going to be at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we're going to do this, if you haven't caught the last one, kind of like a Mystery Science Theater 3000-ish. So we'll be on there. We'll be in the background, be able to comment. But the idea is to get you on here on YouTube so that when you comment, I can pull your comments up live with the movie as we do it. So have a little bit of fun with this kind of interaction. And honestly, I think that's what made it so enjoyable last time. Some of the comments that people were putting up were just hilarious last time.
It was really fun when we did it. I mean, it was
really
great.
was.
I can't wait to do it this time around.
Yeah, so that's on the 26th of October. So that's coming up. It's not too far away, just a little under 2 weeks out. And we are looking at putting together another Jaws trivia game night. And we're going to be looking for people to join us, to hop on here and join us live for Jaws trivia. So if that's something you're interested in, keep your eyes out there, or shoot one of us a message in Messenger or wherever, contact us, or even through the YouTube channel and say, hey, I'm interested. What do I need to do? We would love to have you on. I can have, I think, a total of 10 people on at one time. So if we have, say, more than that, I can kind of swap people in and out for some questions or whatever. And the format, haven't quite decided on what we're going to do with that yet. We might do something you can interact with at home. Might just do something live like we did last time. We'll get back to you on that, but plan for that here in the near future. So,
Like it?
Yeah.
And in 2 weeks, we're in Gary.
Yeah.
hey,
Maybe.
never know.
Couple of good trivia questions and answers for tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I know of at least one. That I'm going to use. That's for sure. We got
Can't wait.
Mark Ames is chiming in saying he's in for the trivia. So, all right, Mark.
Come on, bud. Let's
Victor's
go.
saying he's in for the trivia.
Nice.
Very nice.
Okay.
All right.
Let's go, buddy.
Jaws 3D trivia, Victor.
That's right. And
Mesmerized.
bad attitudes will not be tolerated. So.
Oh my goodness.
All right. Well, I want to thank you guys for joining us tonight. Thanks for hanging out. Had a great group. Had a wonderful guest tonight. And had a lot of fun. So thanks for hanging out. And as always, we're going to have Quint take us out here. And so we'll get some spins up.
I can do it tonight. Holy crap. Okay.
And we'll let it roll. Have yourselves a wonderful week.
I do that thing with the bird. The bird flies off. There it is.
Take care, guys.
Farewell.
Bye, guys.
And adieu to you fair Spanish ladies. Farewell and adieu, you ladies of Spain. For we've received orders for to sail back to Boston.
There you go.
And so nevermore shall we see you again. Farewell and adieu to you fair Spanish ladies.
He doesn't know when to quit.
I thought it was going to laugh. It was.
Yeah, at the end, we missed the laugh. Yeah, it got thrown out of the loop. All right, guys, thank you. Have a good one.
Right.
You too.